Deep, deep beneath the earth, there's a place where darkness stretches into realms yet undiscovered. Reality shifts and its edges blur, creating new spaces and realms. One of these realms is known as the Below, the Night World, or simply the Underdark, for the sun never reaches this pitch-black place. Beneath the sky, which consists of a rocky ceiling that puts even the biggest caves to shame, there are waves of viscous, dark water lapping at the shore of few and small islands. These islands are the only dots of inhabitable land within the large ocean, the Black Sea. The biggest one of these islands might have been earth and rock once, but now it consists of metal and concrete, a city bigger than even the great capitals of the lands above. Illuminated only by the white, harsh light of magical lamps, the City of Shadows is home to many folk. Our three protagonists should be wary though, as a single false step in the City of Shadows can plunge you into the dark forever, just as well as one right move can rise you above the rest. A delicate net of intrigue, desire and death weaves all across the city, connecting criminals, civilians and nobles alike. Everyone has to find their place in it. Everyone needs to learn to navigate this treacherous maze. Can you do it? Or will we die alone and forgotten?
Evening, little dove. The name's Sahir Marlowe, and I'll be ferrying your ass and all your shit across the Black Sea this evening. Mind your fingers and toes, keep 'em in the boat, and for Rapta's sake, don't go leaning over the water. See, the waves hide terrible secrets from those that travel the surface, not much unlike Sahani, the City of Shadows, yeah? You see, little dove, there's all sorts of things to discover in the city, if you know where and how to find them. Me? I'm just a gondolier, nothing special. Yeah, that's what I tell everyone, even if they don't believe me. See, I specialize in being ordinary. Been that way for a long time. I grew up in a group home, the old Soft Touch orphanage in the Silk Scarf district. Growing up was tough, yeah. Working in the textile mills, avoiding the gang wars in the streets, hard lessons from the instructors in the home. There wasn't any time to lament our situation, though. Well, not for most of the kids. I might have been upset, but I earned my way out. See, some wealthy madam stopped by the house one afternoon, claiming to be related to me or something. I eyed her suspiciously, went along with it, though. If it meant getting out of the home, I was game. I followed her around for a few days, and one evening, while she was sleeping, I took off with whatever valuables I could carry in my pockets and snuck off. These days, I don't really take valuables off folks, but information. Speaking of which, what's in the cargo, eh? Don't look so worried. I'm harmless. No secret ever passes these lips. Unless the price is right.
I've seen you before, I think, lingering on your way past the shop. I'm glad you've come in. The arrangements out front are pale shades of what you find in here. And nothing beats one of our custom creations. A bouquet of my own. You flatter me, but I'll not turn it down. There's a language in flowers, you know. I've made enough lovers' tokens and funeral wreaths to tell you that even without knowing why, people quite often like to tell a story with their choices. A daisy here for innocence, a sprig of gladiolus there for remembrance. It won't be one of those ostentatious ones you see delivered up to the parties and cafes in Cleargarden. So, let's say a bit of hollyhock and lavender for height, some sweet peas, and perhaps some butterfly weed near the hands. There's color, but you wouldn't think it much to look at, no? But see here, wrapped in the ribbon, a message for those skilled enough to read it. Yes, metaphorically and literally, For you see, that is where you'll find a note for your master. I know who you serve, and have been expecting you for some time. Here, have a bit of forget-me-not before you go. A bright spot of blue against the dark of the city to keep you on your way.
Hush, little one, for you are safe here in my garden. Who are you, you must be wondering? Well, I am Bronard Denul of the great house Sif, but please do call me Broden. To answer the unasked question, no, I cannot see you. Not directly. However, that is because the natural magics of the world are still at work within me. I've always possessed a certain amount of magic, as demonstrated by the dragon mark of healing that wraps around my horns. A mighty gift bestowed to the members of my house, a gift I was nearly denied when my father was executed for planned crimes against the Night Queen. After that event, I withdrew from the affairs of the house and dedicated myself to this garden. I chose a life of isolation, only leaving to acquire new plants to grow here. But I did not remain isolated. One day I was approached while placing an order for a new flower bush, a group interested in the potential use of gardening to reshape the City of Shadow so that no one would ever go hungry again. I was fooled for a time until my now friend Sahir stopped me and showed me what their true ambition was. I abandoned that group, but they had planted the seeds of an idea. Perhaps I can reshape the City of Shadow through my gardens after all.
I believe it's called Underground Gambling or something like that. I came up with that on the fly. With me, I have. Oh wait, no, never mind. I am also a person. Hello, I'm Swapper. I'm the GM today, and with me I have the very tired. God damn it, people!
Okay, look.
I literally said, please give me a countdown.
I told you.
You go, oh, by the way, will I?
Next time.
I have witnesses and everything.
My Christmas gift to you next time is to have a proper countdown. I'll take 2 weeks.
I will faint on the spot.
my new goal. I'm Eva. I'm so sad this is my last session before Swapper murders me. I don't remember what we're supposed to do here. I'm playing Mercy. I'm very happy to welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Wren, please save me.
Oh, with pleasure. Hi, everyone. I'm Wren. And this morning, I'm going to be playing Sahir, the not shady in the least gondolier, and no, not at all. I'll be joined by my good friend, big flower-loving, hulking buddy of mine, played by Raven.
Hi, I'll take that intro. I'm Raven, and I will be playing the totally not Kingpin, Broden.
Hey,
You
nearly did it.
All of these people were saying that Broden looks like a supervillain.
I mean,
on the stream, did we all just lose our camera feeds, or is that just on my end?
No, we did. I don't know why. One moment, please. Oh.
please have a bit of patience. We are encountering technical difficulties.
Hey, found us. Okay, just kidding.
Oh, wow! That was fun.
think someone's doing a recap to save me from myself.
That is true.
And recap I shall. Last week on City of Shadows, we, Mercy and Broden, visited Broden's family library to look for maps, and they didn't really find anything of value, apart from some old records in like old newspapers about different experiments done in the sewers. The pleasant gondolier Sahir went to talk to some friends, one of which was a gnome called Umar, who collects bodies for funeral homes, as far as I could tell. To ask about anyone making his job harder by not cooperating after they got put onto the gondolier. The gnome Umar said, no, not really, but you might want to check out the Bone Hunter. In quotation marks, is kind of a nickname for a gang member. As Mercy and Broden were leaving, one of Broden's hired guards tried to say, "Hey, by the way, there are people claiming that you bombed a place." I said, "No, don't worry about it. Totally didn't happen. Yes, I was in the area, but no, it was something unrelated, personal business. You know, make something up." After which we collectively reconvened at the flower shop, which was a not okay thing that happened. We kind of obfuscated the point from a gang member for, what was it, an hour? Before they finally stabbed Broden to get some serious answers, which didn't in the end work, I think. Wow, and this is just the first card. I have my notes. We did a bunch more of investigation, talking to various contacts of ours, before Mercy had to go at the end of the week, go speak to her mother, which was a fun encounter in which her mother tried to be as supportive as she could of Mercy's life decisions, but ultimately had asked Mercy to come have dinner because Mercy's sibling Hero was acting weirder than normal. When Mercy went to Hero's room, it was not in normal condition, in that it was completely ruined, and she ended up speaking with Hero for a little while before starting to look for a manifesto, which she didn't ultimately find, and Hero mentioned wanting to go to a ball, some sort of noble party in another part of the city, but one that Mercy could not reach. And I think that's everything. Oh, wait, no. Chap the Mouse showed up at our new hideout. And that's everything.
That is indeed everything. Glossed a bit over the new hideout thing, but
yeah, wasn't in my notes.
Take your D6 of inspiration, which you may use on any roll at any time. And we are currently running after a mouse, if I'm not completely mistaken. Chap had a bit of a nap, and once he awoke, basically tried to pull you, Sahir, in the direction that he came from. He is a mouse, so that didn't work as well. He resorted to just scuttle away. Slowly, but still away.
Well, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but we can see what good old chap has to say or show, or you can all just stay here and I can just go after him. I don't really know where he's going, so he could literally just be leading me to a pile of garbage somewhere.
Does he often lead you to a pile of garbage?
Well, I don't typically let chap do that much reconnaissance work, so I'm not entirely certain what the results are going to be.
I have nothing else to do. I will follow the rat.
As I'm the only one that can heal injuries, I think I shall come along just in case.
Very generous of you both. All right,
I mean,
try to keep up.
the only one you know of. Seems pretty resourceful.
I roll my eyes and just start leaving.
Fair enough. So, as the three of you follow the mouse, this has A, turned into a Scooby-Doo episode, and B, leads you quite a bit away, actually, into a part of Sahani's Hand, a district that I believe we haven't covered in-game yet. It is not the worst district, but it also isn't the best, a very middle-class area. And in this area, Chap leads you to what seems to be a bridge over one of the canals. Looking over, kind of standing on the banister and looking over into the direction of the black, almost sludge-like water flowing into one of the tunnels. Just bobbing his head towards it. This mouse is very fucking intelligent. Very.
Well, I wasn't expecting to have to go back into the sewer, but whoever was giving us the eyes at the diner the other day apparently likes to hang out down here. So, we can make a date, or we can just go now.
I'm, as you are well aware, not opposed to traipsing about down below.
I hate the sewer. Now is as good a time as any.
Oh yeah, I know how much you love going down there, Em. Let's go get a gondola and make our way down. So I don't know about you, I ain't touching the water.
Very sad. Now, Sahir, could you make me to an investigation check with advantage, please?
With gusto.
Throws dice.
All right. Investigation, that's going to be a 15.
Alright. With a 15, you do know of one of the usual little ports for the gondoliers in the near, but you also do know that you're quite in the vicinity of another one in the sewers, where a lot of gondoliers tend to keep their rafts after work. It's kind of a bit of a secure area, but also something that we would consider a bit of a transit hub for a lot of people who don't want to necessarily traverse the surface of the city.
Well, as convenient as that is, I don't typically. I don't want to borrow anything, you know. Just because from gondolia to gondolia, there's a little bit of an honor system there. So I will tell my fine companions to wait here, and I will be by with my own craft as quickly as possible. However long that might take, sorry.
Do you take Chap with you?
Well, Chap's their own mouse. He can do what he wants.
Currently, it looks like they're in danger of accidental suicide by drowning in the water.
What? Can we save Chap?
Sorry. I just meant that they're leaning on the banister kind of towards the water
Leaning
very
too
dangerously.
Okay.
In danger of not...
Okay, I was like, when did the mouse fall over? Oh no.
Swapper's like, I will get rid of this mouse one way or another.
I will scoop up the mouse, and holding him in my hand, I'll turn to the other two and say, I'll go get my gondola. Just try not to look too suspicious.
All right. Getting your gondola is not that big of a deal. It just takes time. About 40 minutes later, you arrive on your trusty raft back at the bridge. I don't presume your comrades have done anything in the meantime. Correct me if I'm wrong. No.
Leaning very casually against a building.
Okay. Could you give me a perception check, please, the both of you, or one with advantage?
Six.
Alright. Bern, did you roll a bit better?
I rolled a 15.
That's a bit better, yes. During that time, you do indeed see some of the gondolas coming out of there, almost never with passengers, and a few are still coming in there. Those that do enter have passengers with them, a lot of the time. But that is your observation, and soon enough you see Sahir stalking along with the gondola beneath the bridge, I presume.
I'll pull up someplace for them to get on. Nice and dainty like, because I don't want anyone to have to jump down.
So kind.
And I'll give a whistle when I pull up to the side.
So generous.
Mercy will hop on, carefully, very carefully.
Well, Rodan would just, step on.
Mind the gap. Watch your step. Take a seat. Get comfy. We're about to go into the dark. Ooh. And I'll just start steering the gondola towards the tunnel.
All right. Two questions. Are you steering directly, basically, towards the transit hub, or are you trying to use Tap as some kind of, I don't know,
Navigational
dividing
tool.
mouse?
Yeah. I don't make a habit of carrying the mouse in my pocket. mostly just keeping them out of trouble. But I'd probably just have them on the boat. So maybe if they want to be smart, like abnormally smart, like Scooby Doo smart, and sit on the front of the boat's prow and like indicate, that'd be great. Otherwise, it's a mouse, and I understand if there's very little more a mouse can do at this point.
Indeed, it seems as if any trace of intelligence has left to this mouse. Almost as if, let's say, a 1 in 90 and a 20 chance for it to fail has occurred, and the mouse just basically flops down and begins to sleep. This mouse is fucking crazy. My second question would be, where do you keep your steel, your stylograph, your pen?
My fancy pen? In my pocket?
My fancy pen.
No, it's my fancy pen. Finders keepers.
What's your passive perception?
12.
Oh, right. So, as Chap has nothing else that he seems to be able or willing to do, you steer towards the transit hub. The hub itself is almost like a bit of a subterranean. The word escapes me. Trains. God damn it. Train station. Wow. Sometimes English is very profound. A station for trains. A train station. Almost like a subterranean train station. So a large hall with a lot of entrances and exits where the sewer canals basically flow through, and one large platform in the middle where a lot of people mingle. It's not the same mingling as you would have in, one of the finer districts or even one of the less weird districts, but more the kind of mingling that you get when everybody's afraid that somebody might stick a dagger up their backside. So a lot of hasty sidestepping, a lot of glaring, and a lot of shifty eyes. And those shifty eyes are what you get from the people as you approach. However, so here you do notice some of the gondoliers that you know personally, and they just give you a nod. Seemingly surprised because I believe this isn't one of the stations or hubs you would have used previously, but still recognizing your right to be here as you dock on.
Well, I don't know what good we're gonna get here, but you can disembark, watch yourself. You're likely to get a whole heck of a lot more than dirty looks on a platform like this. I'll do some poking around.
Are there any so it's like a waterway hub, but is there anywhere to go like on foot?
There seem to be a few staircases that lead to elsewhere, either deeper into the sewers or up to the surface. And it's a very large hub, especially for one of this peculiar make. So you would probably have a few benches and so on for people to sit, but none of the shops that would normally naturally crop up at such a point.
No small bakery stand here in the...
No small bakery stand, no. Unfortunately. Nowhere to inconspicuously stand and eye people.
Mercy will sit on the one of those benches if there's room, and just sort of watch people for a minute.
Alright. Broden, what do you do?
Are there like, plants, any plants that they can just generally judge around here? Algae in the water?
Sure, give me a nature check while you do that. So here, you poking around. Any particular people you want to talk to?
Well, I'd probably like to start with people that are less likely to stab me, so maybe some of the other gondoliers.
I mean,
Hey, I know which ones to avoid. I hope.
that is true. Please give me a persuasion check with advantage.
My nature check was 13.
13. Nothing out of the ordinary. A few types of algae that you recognize from your previous ventures into the sewers. A few types of, not really vines, but mushroom-based vines that creep along the edges of the moist balls. Apart from that, nothing that you would not expect to be here.
17.
17? What are you asking specifically?
Evening. Well, whatever time it is. So, fancy seeing you here, right? Fact of the matter is, I have two very needy clients right now, and I'll just kind of absent-mindedly gesture like over my shoulder towards the two as they're like getting off of the craft. And we're looking for something. And I unfortunately happen to be the chauffeur until they find whatever it is that they're looking for. So the faster we can make this work out, the better for me, you know? Have you or anyone in your network heard of anyone hauling a lot of strange cargo recently? Maybe bringing plants underground, etc. All hush-hush like, you know? We deal with a lot of... I can swear, right? We deal with a lot of shit, right?
I hope so.
But even this would be a little less than savory. You get me?
The person you're talking to, a small dragonborn with scales and nearly into the conceivable shade of red, kind of nods for a green, not red. Nods for a moment and kind of pulls on their pipe. Cargo. Usually I deal in people, but there have been a few requests to move boxes that I do not quite know the contents of. If that's what you're looking for.
It's a good start. You got... Do I know this little dragon's name?
Yes, his name is Grant. He's known to you. He's actually a very good conversationalist and doesn't really involve himself in a lot of shit.
Well, Grant, let me tell you, that's a good start. And you gotta be kidding me, though. You never want to put your snoot in anything? You didn't lift one of the lids, give them a whiff, listen on the outside of the box? Nothing?
That is more your thing, after all. If you put your snout into things that don't really want you there, they tend to retaliate. But I would have if the people weren't so goddamn secretive of it. I was under constant supervision, which is why I remember it so well. You don't really... It's hard to do your job when somebody's poking at you, basically, with their stares.
That's fair, that's fair. Out of curiosity, were they all dressed similarly? Did it look like a club that they might be a part of?
Not quite, no. They did indeed dress differently from each other, but they did know each other.
All right. Well, whereabouts did those boxes wind up going, if you don't mind me asking?
Let's say I'll tell you, and you keep me in mind.
Of course. A favor for a favor.
Perfect. I'm going to have to show you, of course, but I'll turn about halfway once we've made it through the most confusing parts of the maze.
Ooh, I love a good maze.
I mean,
All right.
you're standing in one.
All right, Grant, you got yourself a deal.
Perfect.
I will round up my folks, and I'll be right behind you. Discreet, of course.
Good. So, you fetch your people. Music, stop being obnoxious. You fetch your people, and how are you going to do this? Are you going to stalk, to use your own raft and kind of move in behind Grant's, or are you just putting everybody on Grant's raft?
So, we're gonna load up on mine and follow a distance behind Grant.
Absolutely. He begins to lead you through a twisting maze of sewer canals and stone. Sometimes the passages that he takes are so narrow that you actually have a bit of fear that your raft might get stuck, but in the end it does make it through just barely. At one point, basically, Broden has to haul you along, basically just digging into the walls and just pulling you. Grant's raft is a tiny bit smaller, so he makes it. And I assume that you're versed enough to kind of get where you're going, first of all. And second of all, memorize not all of the passageways, but basically the important ones. At what must be halfway, because he said so, he stops and kind of waits for you to gently drift towards his raft. All right, I'm going to turn back now. This is as near as I'm willing to go. What you need to do is straight ahead and then a bit left, 2 or 3 passages. You're going to find a tiny dock with a single door. That door opens into a larger cavern. That's all I could see. I was enlisted in carrying the boxes. That's probably where you'll find whatever you're looking for. I would be cautious, though. These people did not look like they were expecting company or liking company.
No one ever does. Much
All right,
obliged, Grant.
As long as you keep in mind, I'll be happy to work with you again. Stay safe. And he vanishes into the darkness. His raft does not. No.
I'll just be steering ahead. Well, folks, we look like we're heading in the right direction. What are you thinking?
Handy friends to have.
Yeah, well, as long as you can stand the stink of the sewers, you can make some interesting contacts.
You know I can't. I hate it down here.
Oh, I know. I know. And yes, I am smiling ear to ear when I say that every time.
I only hope that this is the direction we want to go, and not some other groups' nefarious deeds.
Hey, a secret plot is a secret plot. You can't be picky when you run across them.
I think you can, actually, but we're here. We may as well see what that entails.
As you approach, how are you doing it? Are you doing it with a raft? Are you trying to kind of look if there's somebody there? Are you swimming? Right, I see one for swimming.
Well, we're already on the craft, so I'm just pushing forward and waiting to find that tiny little dock. Though I will ask everyone to keep their eyes out for anyone that might be lingering around.
There's a cat in the distance, but that's probably not important.
Love a good sewer cat. Do we see anyone loitering about?
As it turns out, you do not. There's, as promised, a tiny dock, a bit of a wooden gangway, and that's it, barely enough to anchor your raft properly. And behind it you can see the promised wooden door. It seems to have a lock made of metal.
Well, I'll pull up and moor the raft again to the dock. Ladies first.
Mercy will go first. Make her way down the dock, I guess, towards the
Dock.
Broden would follow.
They're both up. I just hop onto the tiny plank and walk my way behind them.
It does make some very worrisome noises, but it at least doesn't collapse under Broden's weight. You reach the door without being detected. Or killed.
Well, ain't that just beaten all?
Should we try the door?
by all means. Go ahead.
I would ask, does it look trapped? But I don't know
What?
if that question. So I'm going to go ahead and say Broden just tries to open the door, test to see if it's locked.
Alright. The door itself is not locked. As you open it, you can see what's behind it. A large cavern in which you can see several other doors. It is basically filled with these crates, these boxes that you've seen in the other evacuated hideout. One moment, please. Yes. That's it for the moment. However, as you open the door, you can now hear voices basically arguing, or at least having a heated discussion behind one of the other doors.
Does Broden recognize any of the voices?
The voices are very muffled, which is why I haven't described the discussion in further detail. I wouldn't say you do, no.
Does anyone have a hankering to investigate the boxes or the voices? Very well. I
Quiet like, right?
Yes. What does Chap think of this area?
It's a mouse. It seems to have lost all traces of intelligence that it temporarily possessed. So, I heard the trigger word quiet. Could somebody give me a stealth check, please? And with somebody, I mean all of you. The way I do stealth checks is I'm going to use the group average, since I don't think it's fair if somebody fails and everybody fails.
18.
18. So what was that? 15?
Yes, 15.
15, 18. And a face ball.
That's a 3 total.
All right. I did not think I would need my calculator for this, but I do. I can't maths for shit. Alright. All in all, you are not the quietest bunch, but you do manage to keep quiet enough that nobody seems to notice you. There's one particular moment during which Sahir kind of not leans against one of the boxes, but tries to conceal themselves behind them. And the box itself is not as sturdy as they thought it was. And it just... There's absolute silence for a few seconds. Then one of the voices goes... And the other answers in an equally exasperated tone. And the discussion continues behind the door. As you've opened one of the boxes, though involuntarily, you can see what seems to be earth in the box. Soil. Which, in Zahani, isn't even that cheap.
Psst. 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 Hey.
What?
Hey. Look. It's a whole bunch of dirt. You know what that means, right?
Somewhere there's something that goes into the dirt.
Also, yeah, no, that is pretty much what I was thinking. I just didn't expect them to say it.
Have contacts with the guard if you're looking to get this stuff off the streets there, Broden, buddy.
We should investigate a few other boxes in the hopes that we find something valuable.
Of course.
Alright, give me an investigation check, please, whomever wants to, with advantage, since you're all three doing the search.
I'm so sorry, you said investigation? $21.
Alright. You do find a few other things. One of these things is that the boxes that contain dirt are all large, cube-like boxes. There are others, however, which are a lot more slender. Not like the box that you transported that turned out to be an explosive. But as you open one of them, you do find a row of glass vials with a single seed each inside of those. And with a 22, you find one box in particular that is almost like an old cigar box, very highly decorated among the plants. Opening it, you find embedded in black satin what seems to be a butterfly made completely out of purple petals.
This I like. Quietly. I say that quietly.
What?
I will take that. How many of the seed boxes are there?
Roughly a dozen from where you're standing.
Is this a smash and grab? Are we just getting and getting? Getting and getting?
Would Broden recognize any of the seeds?
That's a hard one. Give me a nature check, since you are proficient in that, but identifying plants is one thing, identifying seeds of plants is another.
That's a 19 total.
19 total. You can't identify the type of plant that it is, but you do know that you've never seen it before, at least as a seed, which rules out a lot of plants. And you can't quite shake the feeling of if you, near your hand or one of the glass vials, this feeling of latent power inside of the plants. There's something magical about it. The seeds, just for description, are of a very pale blue. They seem to have blackish lines running along them.
And how many of these boxes are there, and of what size?
About a dozen, and each one containing 6 vials with 1 seed each.
Mm-hmm. But like, are they yay long? Are they like 6 inches long? Are they?
They're about as long as your forearm, so not that long. I'm talking Revan, not Broden.
Mm-hmm.
But also not very handy to transport. They are of good make, no markings whatsoever.
11 inches.
So a dozen would fit on a gondola, though.
It would.
Does Sahir think they would comfortably fit on their gondola?
Broden. I've carried all sorts of boxes. A handful of these small fries, no problem.
Then we're taking all dozen.
All right. That is going to require some sneaking around, additional sneaking around, that is. As right now you're basically in one corner of the room and you've been surveying it, and now you would need to go through the whole room to strip it of all the boxes. Can I have another stealth check, please?
You want all of these boxes? Just a handful of them would be fun. All right, they're already going ahead. All right, fine.
19.
$14.
20 total. And I was expending my
That's a good call.
inspiration.
Does it
Good call.
seem like there's anything different about the soil?
Give me a nature check, please. I'm going to give you advantage, actually, since you are very familiar with this.
I appreciate that, but I'm not going to use it because that was a 20 for 22.
Somebody doesn't need advantage.
Because we're good
I will
minds.
keep that. I will keep that in mind. No, it seems to be normal soil.
Okay.
It's very nutrient soil, as far as you can tell.
Sure.
So, silent indeed as a mouse, you manage to procure all 12 boxes, and they are exactly 12 boxes. Each one seems to have come with a different shipment of basically all the boxes, if you can picture it. And you assort each and every one of them. The voices, none the wiser, still involved in a heated debate.
I assume that with these boxes in tow, we're going to now leave. Yes? Compatriots? Sahir? Okay. I will ask, does it look like all of the boxes have the same pale blue seed with black veins?
Yes.
Okay. I figure I can keep 1 or 2 boxes for my garden and then pass the rest off to Mercy to sell.
Right.
I think
So,
logistics can wait until we're out of here, but yes.
Long ride. Don't get ahead of yourself.
True.
you make your way back to the raft and upon it. And then you leave the hideout completely unnoticed. That last stealth check was very good. Where are you going and how are you doing it?
You made us getting out of there stealthily very ominous.
I know.
So here, just back the way we came. Do you know a better way out of here?
I don't know, do I?
I would say you don't necessarily know a better way out of there, but you do know other ways out of there. They're all shit. Almost literally, come to think of it.
You know, thinking about it, after Emma asks that, I'm piloting the craft and I ponder for a moment and say, you know what? I got the perfect route, and I'm gonna take the longest one out.
My god, you are getting wiser. Indeed. It takes a long time, but as you exit the sewers back into the illuminated city, illuminated by lamps, that is, you are pretty sure that neither has somebody followed you, nor would they assume where you came from based on your course. And if somebody sees you, it will probably not matter.
Let's get back to the estate.
Easy enough. So, you enter the estate, the dilapidated but still somewhat functional house that Sahir presented to you with, that you still don't quite know the deal of, but, you know, it's functional. And what are you all doing? Is there a debriefing, or what are you doing with the boxes, and so on and so forth?
I think we should probably come up with a plan for these. I think it's unwise to just shove them in a corner and forget about them.
Agreed.
Well, you're in luck, because there is a particularly nice nook in the far back corner where there are plenty of windows, so it would certainly be a good place to cultivate whatever the hell it is that you both found in there.
I mean,
It depends on what sort of... GM,
Yes, hello.
do the lantern lights even have any sort of plant growing properties? Like,
Indeed,
does
they are
it
not.
matter if there's...
It does. Both the flower shop and the greenhouses in the fields are equipped with specific lamps. Those are not terribly expensive, so it would be easy to outfit the manor with some of them if you were to wanted to grow them here, but you would need to purchase them.
Sure.
I do also have a garden well equipped for this task.
Oh yeah, that's true, isn't it? You got a whole bunch of them. What do you call it?
Trees.
I was gonna say bodyguards on payroll, but I suppose
Yeah, that is also
that
true.
works. So, but that also means you've got a lot more eyes on it. So, it could be
There
a
are-
problem.
There are some secluded corners.
Broden, are you telling me that you're just gonna waltz in there with a dozen boxes and no one's gonna notice?
I won't bring the boxes. They do have vials, and those can be hidden in pockets.
Have you seen their garden? They...
No.
All right. Anyway. So, Broden, you'll take some vials. Do we want to sell some of the other ones?
Don't you think we should figure out what they grow first?
I mean...
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
would probably be a good idea.
Just thinking, I mean, if they wind up being something completely useful, you could jack the price up. Or if there's something you're not comfortable selling, then you don't want to be selling them now, do you?
Are we not assuming these are the... items that we've been looking for?
There were on the note that we were given, did it list different prices for different flowers?
Yes, it did.
If we know which flower it's producing, we can know for sure that we're getting the right price.
You both have points. I hate it when that happens. All right. We'll grow some flowers. See what happens.
This will be a process that takes some time, I imagine. It is literally gardening. So what are we doing in the meantime?
What a natural way to force you to spend some time. I know. Almost as natural as that sentence structure. Indeed, what are you doing? I have a few things planned, which might may or may not befall you, but I would like to ask you first. What do you intend to do? You basically have a large chunk of time in which this particular plot thread cannot be pursued. Or could probably. You could find a druid or something.
If we could also find
There was so much thirst in there.
we could also try and find someone to inform about that little spot that we'd found.
Hopefully this time you
My-
don't get
my-
anyone killed.
I only had the one friend.
Oh, Broden, that's sad.
Right. Sorry.
This is the GM writing down, get Broden friends.
There's me writing down "that's sad" as a quote.
I would like to check in with. Oh, good lord. With
Sid?
Sid for messages
Yes.
and whatnot. Please.
All right. I presume you do this somewhat regularly, as
Yes.
they are your message person.
Yes. Yes.
So, apart from that, anything else?
Not for me at the moment. Aside from, like, making my corner of the manor livable.
If we're going to be spending like 3 or 4 months waiting for
Not
these
that
hours
long.
to grow. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens in that meantime.
I know.
Might start sending letters to people in the family and out of the family, house connections sort of thing, like about
Now, are you talking the Denul family, or the entire House Sif?
both.
Interesting.
Just inquiring about I for the house Sif, just inquiring about medicinal plants, herbs, things like that, stuff that might have more magical uses and purposes, and what those plants might look like.
Mm-hmm.
And then for inside the house, just reaching out to parental connections, forming connections.
All right. Are you including one Mara Sif in that?
I think at this point, Broden has heard of them and at least wants to learn more about their situation.
Okay. Interesting. Anything else? Apart from that which we have discussed out of game? There's no need for that ominous of phrasing, I know, but I still like to do it. So here, what are you doing?
I would probably have to check back in with my gosh, name just suddenly escaped me because
Who?
I'm very smart. Lady Cornwallis. There we go.
Ah, indeed.
At the very least, to let her know that I'm a bright little person and I figured things out on my own.
All right. So, a few things happen. Let's start with Roden for once. You do get a few letters back, particularly from the university regarding your previous inquiry. One moment, please. Furious page turning is in progress. A certain Professor Emily Barton would like to meet you in private to discuss the, as she puts it, most frightening suggestion.
And I mean, I think Broden would, respond, to say yes. That was Emily. What? For my notes.
Emily Barton. A moment. Brten.
Okay.
Where do you propose you meet?
Not at the, not at the estate or Broden's estate.
What?
I would assume that Broden can at least reach the university. Not on a restricted
Yes.
district.
Yes.
Okay.
You've been seen around there,
Mm-hmm.
at least. So yeah, it would be easy to meet in her office if you wish to.
I think Broden would say would like to meet at their office, but would along the way make sure to not be followed somehow.
Alright, give me a perception check, please. As you make your way to the large marble construct that is the university.
It's a natural 20 with a +3 bonus, so 23 total.
You're quite sure that you're not being followed this time. As you make your way through the marble hallways, you encounter a few fellow students, some of which recognize you, some of which don't. All of which have better things to do than follow you around for no particular reason. And you enter the office of Professor Barton. She herself is a rather large drow woman with white hair done up in a bun. There's a single needle in there with like a ruby on top. And you can see her wearing a very ostentatious looking red robe.
Mm-hmm.
She turns around. Please, have a seat. You are
Bronard Danu.
Bronard Danu?
Indeed.
Very well. We have a lot to discuss. Please sit down. Can I offer you any amenities?
Not at this particular moment, besides
Very well.
this conversation.
Oh, if you consider it that, then fair enough. Now, what you proposed is, as I said, most frightening. I am not aware of anything that could do this, at least in the area of herbology. Of course, there's necromancy, but some of my colleagues are far better equipped to handle that than I am. There are plants that can channel magic in a very unique way, and if there was a plant that, as you proposed, would be able to raise the dead, well, plants do have a tendency to get everywhere, particularly if they have pollen. That is actually not what I'm worried about, since we would have an area, it would basically function like a bomb if somebody unleashed it somewhere. Let's say one of the cemeteries of the rich that do not burn their dead. Then yes, we would have a bunch of undead on our hands, but that's not what I'm worried about. What I am worried about is that it is somewhat connected to water, or able to reproduce via water. Because if we had that, well, most of our dead are in the water, and who knows how many people have drowned in the canals. The only counter strategy that I would propose is, if we knew what plant that is, we could perhaps create a poison that would be able to act in much the same way and eliminate all traces of that plant. This is of course purely hypothetical, as
Mm-hmm.
although the fact that a plant can raise dead is highly debatable, and if there were such a thing, you would need an expert in both the arcane and herbology to be able to even scratch that thing.
Would just side note, would Broden happen to know if any of the other associates of their former organization were experts in the arcane?
I don't believe so. No. Some of them were able to use spells, definitely, but to be an expert, you need to do a lot more than just cast spells. And
Okay.
at least probably not in the way that this woman considers somebody to be an expert, since they were all very spiritual in their usage of spells and plants.
Okay. So, I think Broden would have brought at least one vial with a seed in it and would present it and say, the musical cue was perfect.
Oh no. Thank you.
Now, I've seen many, many plant seeds. I happen to modestly believe that I am something of an expert in the field of herbology, but I have never seen this particular specimen, at least not in seed form.
If I may take a look.
I would present it. I was, in the hypothetical sense, aware of a organization some time ago, 9 months, I believe, that was working on using magical plants for some related to the topic at hand purpose.
So you're telling me that the purely hypothetical circumstance that you wrote me about is in fact real?
To some degree. I do not know how much success they have had without my expertise at their disposal.
Well, I do not know the plant that you have shown me, or rather the seed, which in itself is worrisome. But I am of the belief that it is highly magical. Probably capable of such an act. But at least it has enough raw power to be able to do something like it.
That. Well, that.
Where did you find this?
I procured it from their latest, my former associate's former hideout. I assume that they will have noticed the disappearance of their prized projects and will have moved again.
Well. And in what capacity are you investigating into this matter?
They killed one of my only friends, so on a very personal level.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
That's something I'm good at. That's an 18 total.
Do you believe you have this handled?
Not entirely. If I'm completely honest. And I do believe in honesty.
Well, you should probably get somebody to look at your case. Specifically, somebody who's equipped to deal with this.
Yes. I just
Not
wanted
necessarily
to.
just talking about the night guards.
Someone higher than the night guards. Or more arcane, perhaps?
Somebody more equipped to walk on the side of what needs to be done rather than what should be done by law. If the danger that you have suggested is indeed real, then we need drastic measures.
I will take your advice into consideration.
Very well. If you do intend to take it, simply inform me and I will have some of my friends join our next discussion. Until then, you should not show this to any of my colleagues. Most people at this university are only here because the Night Queen wants it.
Indeed. I'm familiar.
Good.
I don't think Broden has anything immediately that they would want to continue talking about. So unless Professor Emily has something else to talk about, I think Broden would then depart with their sample.
She doesn't attempt to stop you or anything. She just sits back with this very thoughtful look in her eyes of somebody who's just heard too much. Alright. Then, let us continue. So here, I unfortunately have to bring a bit of a down of a message. Lady Cornwallis has not managed to unearth anything yet. At least anything that she can share with you. She does tell you that she has definitely begun to investigate in that direction. There are some people who could know more, but are at this point reluctant to reveal their name or allegiance. She does remind you that she will keep trying, as she desperately wants to see you on stage. Just for trivia reasons, her current outfit includes multiple magic lights. Good. So, as it is now about past, we're going to take a break of 15 minutes and then come back. So, see you later. So, Mercy, are you ready? Because there is none.
Oh my god.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So, what did you want to do? Remind me again, please.
I just
Before
wanted
I
to check
ambush
in
you.
with Sid, maybe have a nice coffee. You said fewer than 3 months for this time frame, right? Like, I feel like I should probably.
It's a very. I'm very scared of giving exact time frames because
No,
that
that's-
seems like I would just do it no matter what you do.
Yeah, no, that's.
So if you
that's
walk
fair.
to the headquarters of the Blood Owls, I'm afraid this campaign will end. So,
Is that the only way?
yes, that's actually the only way. You are invincible otherwise.
Mercy would know. I'm not 100% sure. Mr. Baramani would reach out to me, or Cecilia, whoever, would reach out to me if there was something that needed doing, or am I supposed to check in?
At this moment, you both don't owe something to each other, so each one of you could approach the other one, but the one that would approach would basically have a bit of a debt to clear then.
Okay. I mean, I have.
Unless, of
nothing-
course, it's a business proposition.
Not at the moment.
No plans to sell?
Not at the moment.
Do it.
I'm
Alright.
very contrary. So in which case, I would just, check in with Sid.
Alright. Sid Reslow is I'm just going to read it out, a tall, slender Jow with short, bluish-black hair, very big green eyes, and is currently wearing an emerald green crop top with very slim trousers of the same colour. All across their body you can see there's a faint purple tattoo of some kind of pattern dancing across their skin. They are basically very happy to see you, as you've been, putting some extra coin for them for receiving your messages. All right. Hey, what can I do for you? Is there anything that needs doing?
No, I was just wondering if there was, were any messages for me.
Oh,
Could I
right.
think of a
There
drink?
was. Sure, of course. One second. And in the background, you can hear them rummaging around in the kitchen. There's this meow, and he just goes, "Charles, no, not now." And he comes back out with a cup of coffee.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
here you
what was
go.
that?
Oh, that's just me cat.
Oh.
He's been a bit of a devil.
Aren't they all?
I mean, he's the only cat I own, so I wouldn't know. Anyway, there was this one gentleman looking really dapper, like a white suit and all, coming to me, and he said that I should tell you that he's got something to do for you. So like a fox mask. Yeah, he was a bit creepy. It was after hours, so I was closing down, and then he just approached. Was a bit scared, honestly, but it's fine.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He told me it's fine. He told me to give you the letter he gave to me, which I have here somewhere, and he begins rummaging around in what seems to be the counter. All right, here it is. They pull out an envelope, a very fine envelope, which gives you a slight deja vu. But this time it is not your mother writing. Alright, anything else you want me to do, except for, messages and such?
Oh, not now, I don't think. But thank you, as always.
Well, yeah, you're welcome.
I'll wait to read the letter until I'm back. home.
I thought so. The letter itself, very formal, signed by a Mr. Fox, which you know.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to read it out aloud, since I A, did not prepare it, and B, did not find it in me to prepare basically 2 full pages of legal talk. But basically, he's telling you that there is a book that needs to be removed from anybody. He does not care how you do it. He does know of an auction where it will be sold. The book is called Sweet Little Vice and was written by Catherine J. Dawning. The auction itself is led by Franklin Idonna, a lesser member of the House of Making. And it is sold in a collection of books which was once owned by Lady Moira Kirin, a former scribe master. Her death was announced through the papers. It's been a while, about 2-3 months. So it's not inherently shady, but also not shady. And basically, you get the gist that it's okay if you keep it, or if you burn it, or if you give it to somebody else. Ish! The last one is not quite clear. They just don't want the particular person who would buy it at the auction to get it. Basically, they said remove it from circulation, whatever that means.
Circulation, perfect. Okay. And when is this auction?
The auction is on a Friday afternoon. From now on, I would say about a week. 2 weeks. These people are prepared.
You said 2 weeks? 1 week? 1 week?
2 weeks. I said 1 week first, but it would
Okay.
make more sense for them to inform you 2 weeks prior.
Thank you, yes. Consummate professionals.
They are very professional. Very professional. The auction itself is held in a warehouse in Cleargarden, which is also a sentence, since Cleargarden doesn't usually have a lot of warehouses. Really.
Is it a typical place for auctions to be held?
I don't believe you would know that.
That's
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I absolutely would not. I would like to go to. I suppose I'd like to go to the auction because I don't know as. I know I don't have any skills to do anything beforehand.
I don't have any skills.
I'm baby.
All right. Are you informing somebody? Are you? What's your plan here?
You know what?
Remember me things.
I do have
Oh.
a skill. I know one person who I would like to talk to.
Yes.
I would like to speak to Mr. Baramani.
Oh. Hello there.
Hello there. How quickly I changed my mind.
Indeed. It's not easy to get a meeting with them, but for you, it is easier than for most people, and it only takes about half a week to arrange one. It is the same bar that you've already met in, and as you enter, you have this slight feeling of deja vu. You could swear that a lot of the patrons that are here right now also were attending the other day. Once again, you find Baramani in the corner, sipping a drink. Next to him, the tall, pale Stefan. And at a table in the vicinity, you can find Celia sitting with 3 other people, which are cloaked. It is wonderful to see you again. What can I do for you this time?
As always, a pleasure. I
do must apologize for the inconvenience with the last business interaction we had.
won't say it wasn't a bit of a surprise.
For you and me both.
I trust you've been well since then.
Oh, as well as I can be.
I was wondering if we could perhaps do another trade for a trade.
But of course, I am always happy to make a trade.
Perhaps with a little less surprises.
I will try to minimize the surprises this time.
There is an item I would like.
Oh?
But I don't believe I have the current resources to acquire it. So, I would like to make a deal for it to be acquired on my behalf.
But of course, the acquisition of items is, after all, one of my primary skills. What kind of item are you looking for?
Just a book.
A book. Interesting. I do take offense to your just. A book is never just a book. Especially not if you come to me asking for it.
I stand corrected.
Well, out with it. What kind of book do you want?
I will kind of give a brief summation of the details, the auction, the title, author, etc. I've never really been good with auctions. I realize the irony as I'm sitting here asking you, especially after last time. I do like to minimize risk. Not much of a gambler.
That is surprising to me. Sometimes you do have to take a risk to win.
You are not wrong. What do you think?
Well, I would definitely have to do my own research to see if you are trying to get one over on me, as they say.
Of course.
Nothing personal, of course.
Never.
But if it is truly just that, it should be easy. The auction itself was the one I was planning to go to anyway. Well, not personally, but there are a few items in that auction which piqued my interest. However, this is probably going to go away for a lot of money. Lady Karine was known for her collections. The question is, what can you give me? Since, unfortunately, I will not just have a favor hanging between us this time.
Nor would I ask that. What do you need?
Well, I am a trader of many things, both items and secrets. So if you have anything you could give me on that front. Then again, there are a few more nefarious jobs that you could do for me, if you are interested in that kind of thing. But then again, it kind of would not make sense, as you are trying to avoid exactly that. So it depends on what you have to offer, not what I want. I usually take about everything.
Why don't you do your research on if I'm trying to pull one over on you, as is fair.
and I will take stock. And what if we meet back in a couple of days?
That sounds splendid. Very well then,
Joy as always.
as always. It would be best if you remained here for about 5 more minutes. And he stands up. And with him, you see about 2/3 of the bar standing up and leaving after him.
I wait 5 minutes.
You see about the rest of the bar standing up in these 5 minutes and leaving. The bartender is still attending, or in attendance.
Good. I will not linger after the 5 minutes. I will go
Yes,
home.
that is smart. Good. So, you take stock, as you said, and I'm going to need to make a few rolls to see if the... You would, in one of your visits, arrange, or rather, find the question of if you could arrange a meeting with Stefan about a day later.
I would meet with Stefan. In that time, I would like to get some light. I would like to.
Thank you.
ask,
Danke sehr.
my companions, how we are doing this whole seed business.
I'm going to assume that this is after Broden has had their meeting. Okay. Well, I reached out to some people who I would consider even better experts in the field than I am, who were unable to identify the flower, or the seed, rather. Which is significant. These could be completely unique. They also indicated that these seeds have some ability to channel and store an immense amount of magic.
What, like a sponge?
Yes, I would.
The way she explained to you, that is actually a very good analogy. Like,
Yes.
very spot on.
So,
Yes.
what do the seeds do with the magic?
I don't know yet.
Oh, God. Raptha's sake. Well, are they dangerous?
It depends on who is using them, I suppose.
Isn't everything dealing with magic inherently dangerous to some extent?
As far as I know.
All right, yeah, seed business. Let's go ahead and have them all moved to Broden's house. Let's just go ahead and get started on that. I think it's a really great idea.
I mean, there's what, 6? There's a few here. I mean, it's not like they've been stored in some sort of safe place, right? I mean, they're just in little boxes. How unsafe could they be if it's just in a little box?
We don't know what they've been exposed to. And if they're just in a little box, who knows?
We're already exposed to it then.
Well, yeah, no, exposed to the seeds is great. I just don't want them exploding. Not in my house.
It's usually not the seeds that explode. They're usually the product of an explosion. And only in certain plants that release their seeds in such manner.
So you're saying seeds safe, explosion needed for more seeds?
Maybe. I'll know when I see what the flower looks like.
Or are you saying the
When it blew.
flower is going to explode?
It could. Anything dealing in the arcane seems to have that potential.
God. That brings me back to my point.
Of why did we think this was a good idea?
Because money, I believe.
Let me make one thing
So
clear.
also keeping them out of the hands of potential necromancers.
I thought this was a bad idea from the start, but this was and I motioned to Broden. This was their errand, so I wasn't gonna get in the way, but I am very happy to help move them now.
So we're moving them. Is that, Broden, do you have, I assume you have somewhere to keep seeds? Why wouldn't you?
Yes, I have plenty of places in my garden. There may or may not be a special greenhouse inside for keeping seeds that I'm not ready to plant yet.
So you move the seeds, if I interpret this discussion correctly.
Yes, I believe.
Carefully. With as much
Can I
caution as moving a sealed, dubious box.
Yes,
to
of
a
course.
safe house.
Can I have, just for the sake of seeing how well you move throughout the city undetected in general, about 3 stealth checks from each of you, and then just give me your average for the entire time while I look something up.
That's an average of 9.
All right, that is
My average
For
is
Broden.
8.
Sorry.
My average is 11.
Jesus Christ. So It is the day after M's conversation with Mr. Barnum. You're currently moving the seeds in the deepest hours of the night in the hopes of avoiding detection. Which route do you choose? Carriage, raft, by foot? As you move the seeds from the bazaar to clear garden.
I would say that we usually have good luck with good luck with the gondolas. I am not comfortable with the by foot method, but heading into the estate, the carriage would also make sense, but seems a bit ostentatious. My vote is for boat.
At least between the districts, yeah, Broden would agree boat would probably be best.
Oh man, I was gonna say carriage, but it looks like I'm outvoted, so boat it is.
So, having been voted out of this, um, with a sense of foreboding, you managed to get into the raft. Please tell me which route you're taking and how you're venturing forth. Are you trying to be stealthy? Are you trying to use the longest route once again? Or are you just trying to get there as fast as you can? Or any other maneuver that you would know?
I would probably travel kind of a mid-length route that doesn't see a lot of traffic.
Yes.
So kind of like back channels, narrow fits, things like that.
Could you give me a dexterity check and add your proficiency modifier, please?
Could I use a piloting water vehicles check?
Yes, you could. That is, I was not aware that such a thing existed.
Where's my character sheet? I swear I have it. Did I close it? F.
I don't
Oh,
know.
there it is. There it is. Yeah. Me. Oh, good. That's nice. So it's going to be a 17.
All right. Lucky. So, you begin your journey, and soon enough you see 2 additional rafts pop up behind you. Could be coincidence, but they're just close enough, and the passengers, 4 of them in total, 2 on each raft, are just cloaked enough to not bode very well with you. One of the rafts, however, you manage to basically outmaneuver as it loses you in the tight maze of canals, leaving you with only one follower. They are definitely followers, and they are currently trying to catch up to you. Could you please roll me initiative? And also perception check, please, all of you.
Initiative is 23.
That's a lot.
Oh, but perception's 18.
That is also a lot.
initiative of when you're ready.
1 moment, please. Just trying to get it. Yes, I am ready.
An initiative of 5
My God.
and a perception totaling 12.
Okay. So here.
Initiative 20. And a perception of 15.
All right. Give me just one moment. Or several. Okay. Those of you with a perception check above 15 could see that one of the followers, the one or one of the people on the raft that you managed to shake off, was a rather large figure with a wide-brimmed leather hat. And you could see that they had their hand risen and it was glowing with a faint green pulse that seemed to intensify whenever the hand was pointed towards you. You noticed this basically during the chase in which you managed to shake off that particular boat, leaving only 2 cloaked figures on the other raft. And we are now in, I believe, our first official combat. Oh no. The other raft is about 20 feet away from you. As you can hear the people on there shouting, and one of them is currently in the motion of withdrawing what seems to be a hand crossbow, aiming it at you, having given up all pretense. What are you doing?
Regretting not having any weapons.
That seems like a good start.
Yeah. How do I not? How did we get this far?
I don't know. But I'm very pleased with it.
I am going to... They're getting closer.
That is... At the moment you seem to have both the same speed, but that might change with the performance of the gondoliers.
Master Gondolier, do you think you could get us out of here, perhaps? Fast?
What do you think I'm trying to do?
Oh,
You know how there's only one boat?
Master, maybe?
There were 2 earlier. Yeah, okay. Sounds great. I can do that.
Fantastic, thank you. How far away are they?
20 feet.
20 feet. Okay, that's what I thought you said.
I will remind you that you can give your teammates advantage by aiding them in combat.
That is correct.
I actually didn't know that, so that is really good. Because I will aid anyone how I can, because
Which one are you helping? Sahir or Brody?
only in combat.
Well, generally speaking, the aid action can be used when...
I will help Sahir navigate.
So kind of spotting narrow passages or currents.
I think that's the
absolutely.
best use of my...
Next up, we do have Sahir. Sahir, you are basically, in combat mechanic sense, you are using your movement to utilize the raft. So if you could give me, what was it? Pilot water vehicle?
Well, it's really just rolling my dexterity because I don't...
Ah, I knew it. That name cannot fool me. You do have advantage because of N. It's just a general existence.
Oi. Not great. That's 10.
10 total. Oh, right, so you seem to be struggling with one of the tighter passages as you kind of curve around the stones there. As for your action and bonus action, what do you want to do?
I would like to hold my action, and since I'm struggling to get away, when they draw too close, when they get within 10 feet, I would like to poison spray the other craft.
Ooh.
So I'm going to hold that.
The other craft. Is poison spray an area effect? Area of effect? Would you have to specify a target?
It affects a target, so I'll go after the just one of the people. I don't know. Whoever seems like they might want to jump on the craft or something, but whoever gets.
One of them is holding a hand crossbow. The other one is steering the gondola.
Yeah, so definitely want to get the one steering. So when they get within 10 feet, I'll try blasting them.
Okay. Then we do get to the one steering as they make the same check that you do. They do not have advantage. However, they do have my unfortunately good rolls. And yeah, they are definitely making progress. 5 feet each, so they are now 15 foot away from you. And then they will pull out a dagger, just throw it at this point. I'm gonna roll between Sahir and Broden, the reasoning being that Broden is just genuinely very intimidating, and Sahir is the tactically more reasonable target. It is Sahir. The dagger will try to... Oof, yes, that is a hit. That is a 19 in total. Alright. You take 5 points of piercing damage as the dagger plunges into your back.
Oof.
Basically narrowly missing M. You can see the dagger is kind of a darkened steel dagger, and just before it plunges into you, M, you can see this curved, wicked-looking blade. The gondolier, the enemy gondolier, begins then to shout, "All right, tell us where the fucking seeds are that you stole." And we are coming to the next one, who's now ready to crossbow, and it seems that they are not really interested in dialogue since he is actually firing. This one is aimed at Broden. Broden, does a 10 hit you? You are muted.
Yes. My AC is
10 hits? Oh my.
I have no armor. I'm a druid.
I know, I'm just being a dick. Okay, that is... Boom. 5 points of piercing damage as the bolt lands in your shoulder with a heavy thunk. The other one does not say anything. Broden, it is now your turn.
Did they get within 10 feet?
They got within 15 feet, unfortunately.
Bastards.
Broden would reach into his coat and pull out a cigar case looking thing and open it to reveal their personal set of darts.
That is amazing. Oh my god.
And due to their prior experiences with this group and their background, they have proficiency with poisoners kits, so they have a small vial of poison in this case as well. And so they will dip a dart into the poison and turn and throw it at the person steering the other gondolier.
I'm so here for this. Yes, give me the attack roll.
Hey, does a 15 hit?
A 15 does hit. Indeed.
Hooray!
Give me
They
damage.
need. I will roll because they need to make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw.
Alright. Ooh, that is a fail.
Okay, so they take 4 points of piercing damage, 3 points of poison damage, and are now poisoned.
Oof. Well
Which
done.
means it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Ooh, well done. So the dart strikes them, and you can just hear that this suppressed, and then the form begins to sway just a tiny bit. Yeah, Emmett, is now your turn.
I got a dagger for you, and I just like turn my
Yeah.
back to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab that. Thanks. I just like pat their shoulder. Thanks.
Okay.
Um,
So you're pulling the dagger out of Sahir's back.
I mean, is it like in an area that, like an artery type?
I'm gonna say make me a free medicine check. And if it is above 12, you manage to yank it out without damaging Sahir any further beyond the physical pain.
It's a 13.
It is a 13, so Sahir, you just feel this white hot pain as yanks out the dagger without grace, but not. She doesn't sever anything very important.
It'll grow back. I'm gonna hang on to it for now. And I would like to. I guess I will just aid again.
All right.
And I'll
Next up.
keep trying to help Sahir, I suppose.
Okay. Next up, we have Sahir. You are in pain, but still able to pilot the gondola. Another one of those checks, please. Those checks. You know which ones. With advantage, please. I mean, you can also roll without advantage if you really want to.
I rolled with advantage and wound up with a 5.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is interesting.
isn't it?
It
so,
is.
Thanks, Emma. At this point, I'm thinking that I'm probably just struggling because, well, my shoulder is a bloody wreck. I'm going to reach into my own jacket, pull out my own dagger, and after struggling with the gondola, I'm just going to huck it back at the other pilot of the other craft.
Absolutely. Give me an attack roll, please.
Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does hit. Barely, but it hits.
Thank God.
You shook the other raft that was the truly dangerous one
Yeah.
off, unfortunately.
Uh,
Temporarily.
Daggers are what, D4?
Spoiler. 1d4 plus your dexterity if you're proficient.
Mother, help if I rolled in my container. That's gonna be
Maybe you're the mechanics person. Correct me if I'm doing bullshit.
3 more damage.
3 more damage. So, this person is basically hanging on. They are basically dead already. Dead on their feet, but there's just the tiniest defiance. You can see their eyes. They seem to have brown eyes, but you can see this flicker of determination gleaming deep within. This almost crazed look that you normally find with only the most devoted religious people. And as you're stared down, you can feel, for the first time maybe since this happened, fear. People who are able to do this will hunt you down wherever you are, whatever you do, and there's no escaping from them. As you feel this fear, this helplessness, could you please give me a wisdom saving throw?
No.
No. I mean, you can also just fail if you want to.
I got a 10, so is that a fail?
A 10. Interesting.
Is this a spell?
No, not quite.
Okay.
You
Is it a
can
magical
feel-
effect?
It is a magical effect, yes, but it's not necessarily a malevolent one.
I have
Not
advantage
necessarily a
on
benevolent one.
I have advantage on spells and magical effects. So,
Give it.
oh hey, that makes it an 11.
You feel this fear seizing you, but then something deep within your blood answers. A terrifying roar inside of you pushes the fear out, and you can feel the faintest pained prickle. Afterwards, we have the gondola pilot who's going to make their take with disadvantage. And oh no, yeah, you are now once again 20 feet in front of them. Since even with your less than ideal check, they are basically dead on their feet. They do not have a second dagger, unfortunately. So they will simply use the dodge action. Apart from that, we do have the other one, who... Interesting point of order. Okay. No. They did load it, but they can fire again. They're gonna fire on... Yeah, Broden definitely this time. That is, in total, unfortunately, a 6. That does not hit, I presume. Oh, bummer. Oh well. Broden, it is now your turn.
Broden will take another dart from their case, dip it in the poison, and throw it at the other one.
Yes. Is the poison effect permanent?
The poison
Does it just stick-
is a Constitution saving throw at the start of each round.
At the start of each round. Okay,
turn.
so the cultist would have made one.
Turn, rather, I think. I need to look at...
Did you see his 10?
Yes.
Alright, they are still poisoned.
Yeah, the poison retains potency for 1 minute. Hold on. Yeah, so basically,
Okay.
last minute.
Then give me the attack roll for the other one, as you are now attempting to basically poison murder the crossbow wielding person.
That's a natural 1.
There's
There's no
the crossbow.
Bring the outcome.
Yeah. The dart just goes wide as Sahir basically rounds the corner, and you just hit a wall with the poison dart. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to do? Or rather, anything else you can do. There's, I believe, a lot you would like to do.
Yeah, there's a lot that I would like to do if I was level 1. I will...
This encounter would be real fucking trivial if you were level 1.
No, I can't even reach out and do that because Cure Wounds is a full action. Nope, there's nothing else that I can do.
How terrible. Oh well. Then we have M. Yes. Are you swimming and then boarding the other raft and then one-on-one the motherfucker with the dagger? Aww. Sahir's probably been there a few times. They've been fine. Probably. Oh, okay. Next up, we have. They're both still standing. One of them is, I believe, undamaged. Next up, we have Sahir.
Well, I'm out of weapons, and I'm running out of ideas as I'm piloting. Is there anything in the canal that I could, like, try and grab with the stick to try and impede their own progress as they're following us?
Ooh.
Like, drag it in the way?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see one of the. It's basically a pile of garbage on the sidewalk, and yeah, you could absolutely hook that in their way if you. Let's say just make an attack roll. I don't believe proficiency would go into here, so maybe you'll just do your dex.
Today's not my day. I just rolled an 8.
Okay, so you do manage to kind of topple the garbage over, but it just kind of sinks into the water and quite faster than you would expect it to. Probably some kind of metal in there or something.
I'm
anything else you'd like to do?
thinking.
Ooh.
I'll make my piloting check. If you, because I'm still trying to outrun them, I guess.
If you want to.
I mean, at this point, I'm kind of like, we're ahead of them again. I might as well keep trying. So after the garbage, I will try. And oh god, I just
I'll say
rolled a
the garbage
6.
was the action. Okay. I mean, the enemy pilot is still poisoned and basically dead. So, next up we have the enemy pilot. Right. Unfortunately, they are still better than you. With the power of desperation, they thrust the raft forward, managing to catch up to 15 feet in distance between you. They still do not have any weapon whatsoever, and they cannot jump 15 feet, so they will continue to take the dodge action. Their partner, meanwhile, will continue to fire at Broden in this very interesting turn of events. Oh, thank fuck, that's a 14. I believe that's it. That is. You take 3 points of piercing damage as the bolt goes into you again. Are you still up? 1 hit point remaining?
Broden has 1 hit point remaining.
Oh my. I usually tell my players to not tell me which hit point count they have, since I either go completely merciful or completely malevolent.
Unless they get a crit, they're not going to kill me outright.
Sure about that?
Yes, actually, because they mathematically can't.
Ah, maths. You don't know what the water does.
So I guess to
It is, yeah.
again attempt to attack the crossbow wielding one with a poison dart.
Yes.
Because of the aid I'm receiving, that's at advantage.
Yes.
Hey! Thanks to the advantage, that will be a 21 total.
Yeah, that hits.
That
does not hit.
I would be surprised. This
I would too.
wearing full plate mail. That's cost like 1,000 gold.
Crink! Like their cloak is just shrouding this full plate mail armored knight.
3 points of piercing damage and a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 10.
That's a success.
Bang.
Do they still take poison damage?
No.
On a success. All right. So, you managed to embed the dart directly into their chest, and they are staring down at their chest and just giving this pained scream of fear and fright. But they are not yet dead. Next up, we have M. They are now 15 feet away. That's a problem. True. Emma's just having an identity crisis. I'm not good at anything. Brodan just throwing darts over her, crossbow balls whirring everywhere. Sahir bleeding out. I'm just, oh no. I mean, that's not actually that funny, but it kind of is. Raven, if you said something, you were muted.
She's a mess. That reminded me I was muted elsewhere. Poor girl. She's very frustrated. And she's not a good... Well, she's not the worst helper. She's not super good at this, but she would like to just huck that dagger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just yeet that thing. Give an attack roll, please.
13?
13. Now, at whom are you hacking at? Is a question I should have probably asked first.
Oh, that's a good point. The pilot.
The pilot. So, how do you want to do this?
I just
They
like
had one hit point left.
right in the eye would be great.
All right. Yeah, the dagger with
Oh,
the
I'm sorry, Wren.
blade. All right. Anyway, the dagger pierces its target, and you can see the body just crumple down. Definitely dead. So,
Does
I believe.
any effect on the gondola itself when its pilot suddenly crumples?
Oh yeah, it can't follow you anymore. It just immediately loses speed.
I was thinking like dumping its cargo.
No, it doesn't have cargo. It just has a person. If you want to call that cargo.
But I was referring to the people as cargo.
Oh. You monster! Why would you do such a thing?
They're attacking it.
No. The gondola just basically starts slowing down as nobody's kind of propelling it anymore. Which the other one does have a crossbow, unfortunately. So Sahir, it is now your turn. You don't need to make the checks anymore. You're basically able to propel the gondolier with half of your movement speed, if you're really trying to. They will probably still get a shot in until you're completely out of dodge.
Speaking of which, I will take the dodge action as I continue to move out of range.
Fair enough. Completely out of dodge. Then we do have them, and they will attempt to shoot you, Sahir, since you're basically the only thing that prevents... That is a 10? Oh, god damn it. So, the arrow narrowly misses your neck, and you concede into the water. But the shot was a miss. And, Broden, you can try to shoot it out if you want.
How far would you say we are from them at this point?
2015, that is 35 feet, if I can count. Yes, I can count.
I just want to make sure that that's within the range. 20 to 60 feet. That would be at disadvantage. I think in this case, Broden, having taken 2 crossbow bolts, is going to remove them both and then place their hands on the wounds and then cast Cure Wounds.
All right.
Via
So
the mark of healing on their horns.
the mark glows in its blue light, and your wounds seal themselves. Very good. As the raft with your 2 enemies vanished into the night, you are not in any immediate danger, though you do know that there's somebody who is definitely tracking you, and somebody who, by the looks of it, has a magical means of tracking you.
This is really not good.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you think they're tracking the seeds or the boxes or something else?
It's easy enough to dump the boxes, but
Seeds are rather unique, which would make them, I imagine, easier to follow with a spell.
Here's an idea. Take the seeds out of the vials and dump everything in the canal. If they're tracking the seeds, it might not work, but otherwise they might think we just dumped everything.
Assuming they can still see us and aren't tracking one of us.
I mean, if they can see us, they'll see us taking the seeds out of the vials, and that sort of defeats the purpose. I like the idea of dumping everything else, but also, weren't we just talking about how volatile and dangerous these things are?
Potentially.
Okay, potentially. Perhaps shoving them all into a bag together is not the...
I have many pockets.
72 pockets.
60.
60 currently seeds. I have enough pockets that I could hold a lot.
Okay, but how big
How big are these vials?
how big are the seeds? Like,
Yeah, are we talking like walnut sized, or are we talking?
carrot?
The vials themselves are about as big as a large walnut, which is a very weird size specification. Not the weirdest I've ever done. The seeds themselves are about as big as sunflower seeds. And roughly the same shape, actually.
I could fit 3 per pocket.
Just lose one of them in your clothing.
Just like the rule, you keep 1 dagger for them to find and 1 dagger for you to keep.
As much as I can appreciate pockets, having them loose. I mean, never mind, they're expensive. They are dangerous, and well, I mean, we're not being followed for no reason. So, one way or another, they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And all things being equal, I don't think having any floating in this... I'm just going to gesture to the
Sludge.
sludge.
It's slightly more liquid than sludge.
I knew that there was going to be a defense of the...
Sludge.
Yeah.
Well, there are also things in the water that would probably very much like to get their, for lack of a better word, tentacles on magical seeds.
Yeah, so, okay, let's There's nowhere safe to put these.
Keep the vials, toss the boxes.
Did I said anything then?
I'm all for dumping the boxes.
You okay over there, Sahir? Besides the whole blood thing.
There's like just a trail running down. We're just gonna get there as quickly as possible. That's it. Ugh.
Can I like use like a needle and I don't know, some string from my clothing to like make temporary stitches just to make him feel better?
Can you?
So
I am
upset.
with checks and healing kits.
Mercy does not want to watch any of this.
Everybody remember your cards.
No, I'm fine with this, but oh, that's such an awful image.
Yes, it is.
I am of the House of Healing.
That is true.
So you should know better.
Yeah, exactly.
So here, do you allow this procedure?
As you're like, it's just like, what?
Sure.
I'm trying to steer. No.
Okay. Give me until morning, and then I can just cast a spell.
Go into your house. I'm sure there's something at the House of Healing, right?
Probably. Depends on how many servants we want to know that I have certain friends.
Oh, so now you're ashamed of me.
More concerned that servants tend to loosen their tongues to the highest bidder.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
Alright, so no impromptu medical procedure, which makes me a bit unhappy, but fair. So here. I don't want to pressure you, but your skills might as well decide if you manage to cunningly evade your pursuers or not. But first, you dump the boxes, if I heard that correctly. Okay, they just all sink into the liquidy sludge of black colour. The vials you keep, and the seeds as well. So here, could you give me another one of the, what was it, pilot water vehicle?
Piloting that water vehicle.
Yes.
That dex check.
You may take your advantage, since you do know these canals very well.
Oh, bless.
Also, I believe you have a feature, something that allows you to get around the city quicker.
I'm having a day. It's a 10.
It's a 10. Well then, I'm just gonna roll this here in roll 20, so that nobody accuses me of things that may or may not be true. God damn it, me. Your message in Discord pops up and just prevented me from typing in chat perfectly. Oh no. Oh no. So. Oh. Oh dear, would you look at the time? So. As you are on the last leg of your journey, hastily, destination nearly already in sight, scurrying along the canals, you look back and see once again the other raft, steered by a cloaked figure. The other one, uncloaked, very familiar to both Broden and Mercy, just the gentleman with the leather coat and the large brimmed hat. Whatever spell he had cast is now faded, but he has set his eyes on you. And at this moment, Sahir, I would like another wisdom saving throw from you, as you are once again inexplicably filled by that very same fear, that need for survival.
That's a 16.
It's a 16. For the first time, you manage not only not to succumb to this, but also to find its origin, that bluish core deep within you that screams helplessly and screams for you to use it, to take it and not die. What do you do?
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm gonna reach into myself and use it. I don't know. What is it? Helpful, maybe? I hope. Please.
It feels incomplete, like a pattern deliberately broken in many, many places. As you reach into yourself, you can feel that painful prickling once again as blue light manifests on your skin. Please tell me, where does your dragon mark of the abhorrent variety manifests?
I'm gonna go ahead and say it manifests right between my shoulder blades where that curved dagger
So new
jabbed
skin
right into me.
basically comes across your shoulder blades, and on it the dragon mark slightly pulls. So you do have an abhorrent dragon mark, right? I did not say that wrong. Okay, good. So, and I believe that is, although we're just the tiniest bit too early, that's a good point to end the session, as next session is going to be a bit fucky. Oh well. So, whew. Let's calm down for a second here. How's everybody? You managed to not die? Well done. Yep. Oh well. So, how's everybody feeling? What's going on?
We're all going to die and reveal our real characters next week.
That is true. Your real characters are actually your enemies. That would be
great.
a plot twist. Oh, do you? It's good to know. Anyway, thanks for playing, and let's have a quick round of. The word escapes me. Goodbyes. That's the word.
Sign-offs.
Sign-offs. Thank you. This is why we have Raven here. So that he can do the stuff that I cannot do. I am Swapper. You can find me on Twitter under @GreatSimplicity. And I am to be found on the Open for Adventure channel every Wednesday, playing an angry druid. The rest of you, who are you, where can we find you, and what are you doing? Oh, wait a moment. Favourite moment of the session. I almost forgot. My favourite moment of the session was indeed the very last moment of the dragon mark coming to surface for the first time. Who's going next?
Hi, I can go next, I guess.
Thank you.
It's me, Wren. Today I played Sahir Marlowe, the not-so-shifty gondolier, and if you like what I did here today, you can check me out on Twitter and on Twitch @ThornyDryad. That's like a prickly bush. And you can also see me tomorrow on Open for Adventure playing a 5e D&D stream as Devereaux Thistlebrook, the plucky halfling fighter. And you can also see me on this channel again today in a little bit for something different. But I'll be here it's exciting. My favorite part about the session today, I really liked when Mr. Boramani. I liked the description of Mr. Baramani having the same folks, the same everything around him, and that whole idea of just that whole scenario, that whole scene just being orchestrated by him was just so very sketchy, and I loved it.
Hello, I'm Raven. I've been playing. Let's see if I can remember my own character's name. Broden. Tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Unanimous2. I have a Patreon where I've been bad about uploading my D&D monsters due to finals, school getting to be hectic. And you, is there anything else that I'm in? No, I don't think so. My favorite moment of this morning was just the idea that when Mr. Baramani says, you might want to wait a few minutes, and then stands up, the entire restaurant stands up to leave with Mr. Baramani. I think that was great.
Oh, I suppose that's me. Hello, I'm Eva. Probably not too much of a surprise. This is my channel. Kelsey Priest. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at @theevasarate. We will in 1 hour. This was a 1 hour motion, not a shushing motion, even though they look identical. As Wren was saying, they'll be in Still Knocked, run by Anik. And tonight you can find me at 9 p.m. Pacific time over on Lady Dame's channel doing Smutty Saturday. Very excited to my dear sweet friends Lady Dame and Jess. Can't wait. Tomorrow I can also be found on Open for Adventure playing a disaster cleric. It's fine. Otherwise, I'm sure there's other. Tuesday is another Still Knocked. Here. And just all sorts of things. Thank you for the resubs, for the follows. I have finally turned on chat notifications so that it's a little more apparent. Thank you all for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the art, which is now up. I look forward to, having to change that out next week when we get new characters.
Thank you very much. Your favorite moment of the session, please.
Everyone stole mine, the Mr. Bermani. So I'm going to say another favorite part of mine was Emily Barton, I think was her name. The poor university. I really appreciated just the thought of this woman having this dumped in her lap. It's a big deal. And just like, she just wants to research stuff, and now it's just this time bomb, basically, that she has to deal with. I love that. I love those characters. So, yes, I'm pulling for her. All right.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
Everybody loves them until they turn traitor.
I mean,
that's what we call foreshadowing, lads. So, I believe that was it. So, thank you all for being here, both players and viewers. And we will see you all in 2 weeks. We have not talked about that since in 2 weeks. It is kind of Christmassy time.
Yeah, it'll be the 20th.
Wait for announcements.
we will keep
as we
you
are professionals.
posted, friends.
We are so professional.
Mm-hmm.
Well then, see you sometime.
We are going to, in the spirit of the holiday, we're going to send you over to a Christmas elf.
Spirits.
Be kind to Allie, and we will see you all sometime. Maybe in an hour. We don't know.
Spirits. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh no. I always do that too soon. Yes, much love, everyone. Be kind to each other.
No, hate each other.